So next up, we need to actually automate the chicken curry itself. And this is basically, it's just coconuts, yogurt. We are going to have to automate yogurt, which you can do with soy milk. Okay, now this crafter right here is where we're going to be automating the actual chicken curry. That's going to be the next thing that we're going to automate. So we're going to go ahead and grab a couple things here. We're going to grab garlic, we're going to grab rice, chili peppers, ginger, and coconut. Oh, you know what? Coconut. I don't actually have that planted. I do have some coconuts. Yeah, we're going to have to set that up real quick. Right in here. I've got coconuts, 11 of them. So let me actually just switch out one of these crops over here, because I'm not using all of these right now. And I'll go ahead and switch out cashews, because I don't even have cashews filled out, so it's not really a big concern to switch these out. And we're going to switch over to coconuts. And I am going to need one more, that's fine. I totally forgot about that. I do apologize. I may have to give that a second to build up. And maybe by the time we get everything else done, that'll be done as well. And actually right here, you can use a lot of different stuff. Like, technically we could go with like curry powder. We can go with spice leaf, you know, whatever. But I've got a lot of ginger, so I might as well just use the ginger. We're also going to need chili pepper. Okay, and then we're going to pop over here. We're going to say sticky. We'll go ahead and turn that on. And we are going to say that the top left side is going to be down only again. Because this does require a pot. We're going to have to make another pot. And then we're going to do, which I think this is actually shapeless craft, but we're going to actually mark it correctly. And that's because I want to make sure that we have everything whenever it comes time to do this. And it makes it a little bit easier figuring out what we're missing. And I tell you what, you can actually take your tofiken and you can grind it up. And originally I was thinking about doing that because you get 2 times the output per tofiken. But tofiken's so cheap that I'm actually just going to dump it in there as is. I'm not going to worry, because I don't want to have to put another grinder in here and do 2 more connectors. And, I mean, it's so cheap, I'm not too concerned about that. So we'll go ahead and put tofiken right there. And so then we just need the coconut, we need the yogurt, and the ground cinnamon. Okay, so I'm going to go make a grinder, and you can see we're going to get another grain bait coming in from this. I mean, we're going to have grain bait like crazy coming through here. Okay, I went ahead and added coconuts to this, also made the pot to put in there. So all we need is the ground cinnamon, and then, yeah, the ground cinnamon and then the yogurt. Oh, I meant to make another pot while I was up there. I'll have to go do that, but we are getting some coconuts built up in here. I mean, it's slow, it takes a minute, but they're steadily building up. I do apologize. I thought I had everything laid out just right, and I didn't. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up another connection line right over here next to this grinder. See, we're using quite a few of these at the moment. So that, and then we're going to do our grinder setting right there, and we are going to say cinnamon in. And then right down here, we are going to say ground cinnamon. And then we're just going to pop over, let's see, this is the ground cinnamon. Alright, so up, we're going to set it, oh wait, before I do that. So, second slot here, let's get ready, create, it's going to be an insert line, we're going to say cinnamon, of course. And then we're going to say that the bottom, create, and it's going to extract stacks. Okay, so that's pretty much set up. And then dump that in there. What did it send? Sent cooking oil. Okay, so it's going to start getting cinnamon, and it's going to make ground bait, or grain bait, I mean, and ground cinnamon. Right now we're making just a lot of grain bait, but there is ways to make the fruit and the other bait as well, which we'll be getting into those. So now let me actually grab that ground cinnamon, and we're going to put it into this area over here that is not voiding items. So right there. And we'll go ahead and grab a piece of that, and we're going to put it into our recipe. Right here. That goes right there. And then I'm going to pop up here, and I'm going to go get a pot. Now technically you can actually do this a little bit easier, and we may end up changing this later, once we either start getting in lots of leather or we start getting in lots of rotten flesh, we will probably change this recipe slightly. But for right now, this will be okay. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to put some kind of use to our soy milk. So let's go ahead, let's get ourselves an analog crafter. There we go. And we're going to set up another connection right here, and we are going to set up a recipe, and we're going to say, whoops, we're going to disable all of this and that. We're going to put the pot right there, and we're going to say downside only. And that's just because, like, I noticed if you don't put downside only, and you, like, say you disable it, the pot, like, disappears whenever it tries to craft anything. So you have to put at least some side on there, and we're not using the downside. That's why I'm doing that. So just a heads up. And then we're going to grab our soy milk, and what we're going to do is we're going to say sticky. Soy milk goes right there, and then all we have to do is connect that up with an output line. This is the east side, so it's going to be the west side where the crafter is. So west side is going to be an output line and an input line. So we're going to go ahead and create, and it's going to insert, and then create, and it's going to extract stacks. Okay, so if we take a look over here, and we go eat something, we are producing yogurt. Now, we could take this yogurt, like I said, once again, if you have zombies up and going, you can turn rotten flesh into leather. Or if you have ground traps up and going, you can quadruple your yogurt. And then all you have to do is ever make one yogurt and then just keep quadrupling. Just leather, and you get 4 of them, and then just cycle it back through. But for right now, this will be fine. This will be okay. So we're going to take our yogurt and we're going to put it over here in the area that doesn't get voided. I'm definitely going to have to make more drawers here shortly. And then I'm going to take, there we go. I'm going to snag a piece of this yogurt. I'm going to put it right in here. And there we go. That's the completed recipe for the chicken curry. And then all we have to do is pop over here. This other crafter that's set up, let's go ahead and say create insert, create extract stack. Okay, and it's going to start producing, basically coconut right now I think is going to be the limiting factor, but it's going to start producing chicken curry. There we go. And I could eat this. I mean, it's decent food, and I've actually never eaten it. I'm going to eat one, and then I'm going to put the rest of this into the drawer that doesn't get voided. Okay, so we're up to chicken curry. So now all we need is rice. We've already got that. A cutting board, chicken curry. We've already got this whole top. I mean, I have to make a cutting board, but, you know. All we need to do is make mango chutney, which is spice leaf, mango, cooking oil, and mustard seed. It's as simple as just crafting it. And then we need to make naan, which is dough, cooking oil, and onion. This will be the most tricky one because dough does require flour, which we already have. It does require some water and some salt. But it's nothing beyond our means. Alright, so let me go get a couple things together for making this, and I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, we're about to hit 26 stacks. It's 2 off. It's still crafting. We're about to hit 26 stacks of tofiken already. It's crazy fast. It's insane. Okay, so I've got some things together. I haven't got what we're going to need to craft the last part. The naan is actually the most involved to craft, let's say. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up an analog crafter right here. And we're also going to have one on top. This first one we are going to be making, if you take, let's see, the mango chutney. Oh yeah, I need another pot. Okay, so we're going to set it to sticky. We're going to put our pot in. We're going to say that that is, of course, down only on that. And then we are going to do disable these sides. The mango chutney is mango, spice leaf, mustard seed, and cooking oil. So let's go ahead and just put those in. Mango, spice leaf, mustard seed, cooking oil. And then all we have to do is just connect this up, just like all the others. Then if we take a look at that. It's making mango chutney now. Let's go ahead and grab that. Let's eat one. Just because we're trying all the things. You know what? I'm going to need to make more drawers. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to hold on to this mango chutney for a minute. And then we're going to set up one more analog crafter here. And this will be all of, we'll have a big analog crafter flower going on right now. And so this one, we're going to say sticky. We're going to put the cutting board, and we're going to say this is going to be east side only. Okay, because we don't have anything on the east side that connects up to that. And then we are going to do, once again, all those slots are disabled. And we're going to go ahead and put chicken curry and rice, and then mango chutney right there. And we'll just drop those into there. So all we need now is the naan. And the naan, we've got the cooking oil, we've got the onions, we just need the dough, which means we need to automate salt and have water on hand to craft this. Okay, so I'm going to go get a few things prepped. This step actually takes a little bit of stuff that we're going to need. So I'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, I have got a few things prepped up. You can see I moved the curry chicken that was over here. I moved that over to here, right there. So we have chicken curry and mango chutney right here with a stack limit of 8 not being voided. Because I feel like 8 stacks is probably good on those, I think. And then I got a bunch of stuff prepped up, and I figured out how we're going to do our water and salt production, which we'll get into that in just a second. But before we do, let's go ahead and right here, let's actually dig down, and let's connect up a network cable right there, and we'll just bring it over, and then we're going to bring this up with a connector just right there, and we're going to say that the west side is not going to connect and the north side is not going to connect. It's not going to connect to these analog crafters. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up two additional analog crafters. I made one too many because originally I was going to do my salt and water production a little bit different, but I think I'm happy with the style that we're going to go with. Plus it lets us cover a PAMS block that otherwise we probably wouldn't cover. So we're going to set up one analog crafter right there. And we're going to call this, we're just going to call this, we'll call it analog crafters. Okay, so we're going to have one setting right there. We're going to have one setting right there. And my idea is, I know this kind of looks like a big pile of just analog crafters. I'm thinking I might come through with chisels and bits and make it look like crates. You know, pushed up against that corner right there. And then I think it'll look pretty nice if we had like crates, and then we spruce up this side. So it kind of looks like stuff is going on, you know, in this area. So this first one right here, this is the one that's going to be not on the upside. We're going to go ahead and disable all of these sides except for just these two. And we're going to say string and string. And wasn't fast enough. Okay, we're going to say string and string. And what that's going to do is that's going to produce woven cotton. Which we're going to be using here in just a moment, actually. Okay, so we're going to say, right here, we're going to say create, insert, create, extract, stacks. There we go. So if we take a look right here, this should be getting string from our automation setups and producing woven cotton, and it is. Okay, so we're going to take our woven cotton, and I don't know if I want to put it... Yeah, we'll run it into drawers, and we'll just have a stack limit of 8. So we'll put woven cotton right there. And so it's going to start producing woven cotton and stocking it into this drawer right here. And then let's go ahead, grab a piece of that. And right over here, this is the only part of this setup that's not on site over there. I was actually thinking that I wanted a little pool of water over here, and I built a little pool of water. I'm going to expand it maybe a little bit more, like on this corner. But I went ahead and ran some XNet cables that just connect right over to that. And I've got a connector right there, and I've got a connector right there. And we're going to take the water filter from Pam's Harvest Craft. And this is a block that, honestly, if we didn't use it here, we probably would never use it. Because this pack has cooking for blockheads. This block is super useful when you don't have cooking for blockheads. When you have cooking for blockheads, a little bit less useful, but if you start automating, it can be useful. I mean, there's other ways that you can automate salt and water pretty easily. And so basically, if you place this down, you can, like the other Pam's Harvest Craft stuff, you can extract from the bottom and you can pump out on the sides, or you can pump in on the sides or the top. And this needs, like, it needs to be touching quite a bit of water. I think it's 4 blocks on its sides, I believe. And I know flowing water messes it up. But it's basically just, if I recall, it's just enough that you can put your conduits on the bottom and the side and just have this kind of submerged in water, and it'll work. And then let's go ahead and, we want to name this. Now, we're only going to have this one filter. Let's actually name this. We're going to say water filter in, and then we'll just pop down. I'm going to end up changing these blocks to probably gravel or something like that. But we're going to say water filter out. And then, of course, I'll facade. By the way, if you're curious about how to facade with XNAT, you can craft these facades, paper, wool, and glass, and then you sneak, right-click, or right-click on a block to mimic, just like, you know, conversion wand, things like that. And then you just right-click or sneak right-click on a cable or connector, and you hide it with whatever block you've chosen. So that's how the facades work. I'm probably going to go through... I'm actually starting to get a decent amount of cables that need to be facaded, so I'll probably go around between this episode next and get those facaded. But anyways, now if we take our woven cotton and we drop it into here, we should see, if this is set up, yeah, there we go. You can see a little blue bar is slowly filling up right there. And it takes a second to fill this up. It's funny because the hedgehog came running over here whenever I put out this water because he was thirsty. There we go. You can see we got 8 fresh water and 8 salt. Just one go for 2 string. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to go drop this into drawers. Let's see. Let's actually put it into... We're going to put salt in this. So we're going to go up to 104 stacks of salt. And then water we'll just put into... Oh, I want one with a void. Yeah, I'm going to put it into this. So water can go here, but if I get more than 104 stacks, it can void it. Because we're going to be using salt probably for other recipes, more so than water. And then what we're going to do is let's grab a piece of our woven cotton here. And right here, let's go ahead and find our water filter. There it is. And this is filter out on the downside. We're going to go ahead and say that that is for extraction. Create, extract, stacks. And then right here, we're going to say that this is for inserting woven cotton. And it may have possibly gotten something else. I don't know if it can actually accept other items other than woven cotton, because that's really the only thing that can be ran through it. But then again, it was dumping cooking oil into the grinders and pressers, which you can't do anything with. So I bet it has something in here. Anyways, here comes woven cotton. And we should, here shortly, we should see salt and water get dumped in over there. Now, I know I need to eat. I'm not going to eat because we're just about to be eating Deluxe Chicken Curry. We're like drained on like most of the stuff, but that's okay. It's going to be running on server. It's going to be running constant, and eventually we'll have all the stuff that we need built up. Okay, so now that we've got that set up, it's time to set up the next analog crafter. And if we take a look at the Deluxe Chicken Curry, we need the naan, which is dough, which actually is this. None of these are set up for naan at the moment. I might put a crafter behind this wall here. Because I kind of like the way this looks, but I don't want to have to run another connector. I don't even have another connector. Yeah, so I'm probably going to set up another analog crafter right in here, which will be fine. Okay, but we need to make dough. We need to automate dough, and this is actually going to be something that's really useful to have on hand because it's annoying to craft it, to have to craft it. It's a little bit easier to craft with the crafting, the kitchen, but still, it's nice to have this stuff on hand. So, mixing bowl, flour, water, and salt to make dough. So let's go ahead, water, flour, salt. You can see we've already got a half stack of salt so far. Okay, so mixing bowl. We're going to go ahead and set this to sticky. Mixing bowl. Oh wait, that's yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to set this to like east only. Yeah, that'd be good. And then we're going to say flour, water, salt. Then let's pop over here. And this analog crafter, this will be... Okay, so we're going to say create, extract, stacks, and then create, insert. Okay? And it should be getting the stuff that we need and actually starting to craft our dough. There we go. We are creating dough now. And I'm going to dump this dough. These are all filled. Okay, so I'm just working from this end. I'm going to dump our dough in right here. We'll keep 8 stacks. That'll be good. And then we're going to set up another analog crafter right in here. So many analog crafters, right? Set it to sticky, skillet, and then we need to do dough, onion, and something else. Cooking oil. Of course it's cooking oil. Tons of cooking oil. And we'll say that's downside. Let's go ahead and shut these off. And we're going to do cooking oil, dough, onion. There we go. And then we just have to plug this one up. And we're going to say create, extract, create, insert. And then on the extract we'll say stacks. That'll be fine. Okay, now if we take a look, it's so much auto crafting within this episode, right? We are creating naan. Let's go ahead and eat a piece of this. And then we're going to take our naan, we're going to put it right into there. And have I ate... Okay, I've ate mango chutney. And I've ate chicken curry. Can I eat dough? Just raw dough? No, I can't. Okay. Okay, so now we have our naan. Let's grab a piece of that. And right here, we're going to place naan into there. And guess what? Guess what? It is time. It is time. Okay, so this crafter right here, once again, we're going to say create, extract, stacks, create, insert, and guess what? We walk over here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Just took it a second. XNet's probably running a lot of things right now. So look at that. Deluxe Chicken Curry, 100% automated, running on a server, and there we go. We have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and guess what? And is this still doing... Okay, this is still doing it on power. It's actually kind of worried because we've been look at all these connectors that I have running. It's an insane amount of the things. But yeah, there we go. We now have Deluxe Chicken Curry. And I know it was a lot of just setting up analog crafters this episode. You know, and it's part of it because it was a lot of steps, right? I mean, there was a lot involved, especially going with like Tofik, and that's a whole other step of like processes that we had to do. But it is kind of nice to have all that in place. In truth, the mango chutney, is it used gourmet venison burger? It's really not much better than this, but it does give buffs. We might actually set up some automation at some point for that too. Like whenever we start fighting bosses, since it does give buffs, I don't remember what buffs they are off the top of my head. We'll get into them later if we automate that. It would be kind of nice because it would be like a potion food, and it's always edible. And with our gluttony charm, we eat instantly. So if we need it, just pop it, and it's kind of like, because Pam's Harvest Craft actually does have quite a few foods, the high-end foods that I think there's a fair number of them that give buffs. If we look at top tier, yeah, see there's like the Southern style breakfast, the meat feast pizza, which does 4 food groups, 8.4% on those, and it buffs the player. The thankful dinner, the Korean dinner, gourmet venison burger, the miner stew, and the corned beef breakfast. I don't remember what all of them give as far as buffs, but they all give like different buffs. I'm pretty sure the miner's stew gives you like haste and stuff. But we're probably going to end up automating like all 7 of these, and we'll use Pam's Harvest Craft as our potions. I think it would be kind of cool. It'd be something different, right? So we will probably get into some of these, but I mean they do take a bit. This one actually isn't all that bad, but you do have to get into cooking some meat stuff down, making pepperonis, making pizzas, and all that stuff. But the nice thing is we already have dough automated. We already have flour automated. We already have salt. We already have water. We have a lot of these things already automated. So as we automate more and more of Pam's Harvest Crafting, it's going to get easier and easier to do that kind of stuff with. So, but this episode we got our best possible. I mean, this is the best possible food that has all 5 food groups in it. It does restore a ton of hunger, and it does restore a ton of nutrition. And look at that, we have 31. And it's probably waiting on certain little things like coconut and stuff like that, but it's going to be running on the server. I've got everything chunk loaded for this. And so probably by next episode, we're going to have stacks of the things. I want food. I think I want food in this series, especially with it being, with it having Pam's. I want food to be more than just, I have to eat things. I want to have fun with food, make the potion effects, make all that top tier stuff. But this episode, I just kind of wanted to show you the power of XNet, how much XNet we used. But we have this stuff being auto-crafted. It doesn't require any kind of power aside from XNet, you know, which is a Spectre coil. Just analog crafters and a water filter, and then a lot of XNet filters and stuff like, and pressers and grinders, which don't take any power. So, you know, great stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I actually had a lot of fun with it. And honestly, having food automated is going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I mean, that's like, you take some damage, pop that food, and it's like super health regen. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.